Hello, today I'm going to talk about baseline. Baselines are very important. So, first of all, what is baseline? Baseline is your plan, saved plan. And before I show you how to create a baseline, let me explain why do we need baselines anyway. So you can see that I have here my project. Okay, now my project is 69 days. It will start here, and I can see here, okay, it total work, so hours, and let's say total costs. Okay, now, but what I cannot see is it according to plan. What does it mean? Let's say that we have project, you see here air project. Okay, and this is something which you will show to your team, to your sponsor, to your investors, to anyone. And now, let's say that, for example, phase one design is, I will go to extreme example, is going to take 60 days. Okay, now be aware of those numbers, costs, work, and finish date. Okay, now I have 1,200 hours for $83,800, but am I late? You cannot say, if I now save this project and come to someone, any project manager in the world, he can ask me, why do you need 60 days for design? And I can say, okay, because this is complex design for phase one, whatever. So he or she can say, okay, it's good, but we don't know if we are late. So, first of all, when are you going to create a baseline? When you are done with the planning. So, first of all, am I good with that? Let's go back. In my previous video, I explained statistics. So I see there is no baseline. I see when the project should start and should finish, what is duration, what is cost. And let's say this is good plan. I show to my team says, okay, John, Ellen, Mary, myself, Peter, they all say, okay, this is fine plan. I go to my investors and they say, okay, the budget is fine, the duration is fine, work is fine, everything is great. Okay, now I want to track a project and process, the whole process and the whole progress according to that plan. So what I have to do, I have to save that plan. For saving that plan, I will use baseline. And where is baseline? Project tab, and you can see here set baseline. You can clear the baseline and you can set the baseline. Baseline, if I go to choose set baseline, I can choose between 11 different baseline, and they are named baseline, baseline 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10. What I don't like here is that I cannot rename the baseline. I would like here to say, okay, this is my initial plan. Let's say after some time, the new model will come here, or something will has to be changed, and that will be my new plan. So for that purpose, I would like to have initial plan, so baseline. Sorry, for baseline 1, phase 2, phase 5 added, etc., etc. But it is how it is, so I'm going to set baseline. Okay, let me show you what will you see if you say save baseline. I will click OK. What changed? Nothing. Apparently nothing, but it is not true. Let me clear the baseline. Okay. Now, okay, I will clear the baseline, this baseline, and if I go here in project statistic, okay, you will see, here, statistic, that baseline is not available. If I go to cost tab here, right in the upper right corner, you will see that I have baseline which is 0. Okay, variance is the whole number because I don't have baseline. So basically, my phase 1 design has a variance between total cost and baseline. But why? Because baseline is 0. Let me show you here. If I go to work, okay, I see the baseline work hours are 0. Total work is 280 hours for phase 1, and variance is 280 hours. So it's not true that nothing will happen. So if I go here and say set baseline, okay, and now if I go, let's say, to cost, I will see that baseline is same like total cost. So basically, when I clear baseline, baseline is 0 for costs. Baseline is 0 for work. Okay? And schedule, baseline start and baseline finished are basically, if I go to schedule, to variance, baseline start and baseline finish are not available. So what happens when I create a baseline? When I create a baseline, Microsoft Project takes variance table and put start and finish in baseline start and baseline finish. It copied those values and froze them. The same thing is with costs. So baseline, actually, when I create a baseline, all those figures are copied here and froze. When I go to work, all those values in work are copied and froze in baseline. So let me go here, set baseline, let's go to cost to give me a better example. You can see baseline is here, variance is the total amount. If I now go set baseline, and I choose baseline 1, and when I now click on OK, you will see that all of those fields are copied here, and variance is 0. Why? Because I just create a plan, and total cost is equal to baseline, and variance is 0. How the variance can be plus or minus, that is another part of the story which will be covered in my videos when I am going to talk about tracking project progress. One thing very important. Let me clear the baseline and let me go here now, baseline is 0. Let me show you, for example, let me show you something which is called tracking Gantt. Okay, let me scroll to task. You can see here what I have. If I create a baseline, okay, here, project, you can see my critical path, everything is in critical path. If I set baseline, I will have this gray line. This gray line, now let me clear the baseline and go through this process again. Now I can see the real tasks. And if I create a baseline, I will see in a gray baseline tasks. So what does it mean gray? It is same here, everywhere. Here, the same thing you can see. But let's say that I say phase 1 design is going to last 10 days. You will see that my red or my real task bar will be extended, but baseline will stand as it was. So you can see here visually that I'm late. If you go to costs, you can see that for phase one design, I planned $25,000, but it is now $41,000 because duration was extended. And the variance is $16,000, which means that I will spend for task, which is phase one design, $16,000 more that was planned, because it was planned $25,200, $41,000 is now, and the difference is $16,000. But that is all be going to covered in my next video. So I'm going just to conclude this one with baseline. Baseline means that every single important information about project is copied to a specific field. You can see here baseline cost, baseline duration, baseline estimate start, baseline finished, baseline fixed costs, baseline fixed cost accrual, baseline start, everything, those here, from baseline budget cost to baseline work are fixed. So when you create baseline, cost is, for example, cost is copied to baseline cost. Duration is copied to baseline duration cost, baseline duration field. Now, of course, since I have 11 baselines, if I save another baseline, baseline 1, those fields are going to be copied in baseline 1, budget cost, budget work cost, delivery, etc., etc. If I save in baseline number 3, those are going to be saved here. So to conclude, baseline is when you are done with planning and you want to fix that plan, so in the future you can see exactly how your progress of the project is, or are you late, or you are not late, are you spending much more than you planned or not. So basically, when the planning is finished, you should save a baseline. Before I start with how to track projects, because now we are going to transfer to go to execution phase, I will in my next video show you how to work with tables and views. And until that, then thank you very much. Have a nice day.